Hello everyone, and thank you so much for tuning in today. I know you're like, girl, what happened? You were on a roll. And what happened was I went on vacation 2 weeks ago, and I had every intention of doing my video while I was there, editing and then releasing the video. But the way that the heat was set up in Punta Cana, Dominican Republic, my God, it was so hot there that when I did try to put some makeup on, like the one time I tried to put some makeup on, I melted. Like, before I could even get out the room good, it was just like, it was a disaster. So my plans of having beautiful Punta Cana in the background with the ocean view, all of that went down the drain because I was just like, I refuse to do a video looking like a melted candle. So I said, never mind, I'll just wait. And when I got home, I had to go to Atlanta like the next day for a doctor's appointment. So I did not have time to do the video. And then when I got back from Atlanta, I don't know if you can hear it or not, but when I got back from Atlanta, I had this sinus situation where everything drained into my throat and I sounded like a bear. Like, it was like, oof, I don't want to hear that. So I decided not to do a video squeaking and squealing through the video. So here I am today. My voice is not all the way back, but it is enough for me to do this video. So here we are. So I'm sorry, I apologize. So this video, we're going to talk about what happened next. In my last video, I told you all that I'd had a CT scan after I finished with immunotherapy and Xeloda, and you want to know what happened next. So here we are. Well, what happened was that they saw a spot on my lung. I know, crazy, right? They saw a spot on my lung. It's on the side that I've had cancer in my breast, the right breast. It was on my right side, and it was just like, seriously? Like, so this summer is going to be a summer of treatment and surgery and all of those things? Like, no, I don't want that. So, but I wasn't tripping. I'm just like, whatever. So what do we do? The doctor decided that she wanted to do a biopsy. She did a biopsy. She scheduled the biopsy. I had a regular biopsy. They put me under anesthesia. They took me in the back. Of course, those, I told you before, those people are amazing back there. The doctor cut a slit right in the area where my first port was, which I was so grateful because I have so many scars and bruises and war wounds from cancer that I'm just like, ugh. Let's not add to the chop shop, okay? Let's not add to the bruises and the marks and the scars. Let's not do that. So I didn't care. Really, I didn't care. It was on them to put it in this area because I don't care. I'm just happy to be alive. But they did the slit right in the area where my first port was, and went in, got the sample and tested the sample, and it came back negative. So I was so happy. I was so excited. I was like, whew, good. Well, after that, the doctor decided to schedule a PET scan to be done, just to look over everything and make sure everything was good. Well, when we looked at the PET scan, the area that they had biopsied had grown. And my doctor was just like, I'm not feeling this. So she's just like, I want to do another biopsy just to make sure that they got a sample from the area that is lighting up on this PET scan and was showing on the CT scan. I just want to be sure. And I'm thinking, please, by all means, let's be sure. So the pulmonologist that I met with, he was saying at first that no matter what it was, if it came back as cancer or not, he wanted to remove this thing that was on my lung. And I was cool with it. I'm thinking, yeah, let's remove whatever it is. Let's remove it, because I don't want anything growing on my body, in my body, and it potentially turn into cancer. So I said, by all means, yes. So they scheduled the biopsy, and this time it was going to be a robotic biopsy, which I thought was pretty cool. Basically, instead of the doctor going in and cutting, the robot will go down my throat and get a sample of the area that where the spot was showing up on. So I was cool with that. Before they do that, though, the day before they do their procedure, they do a CT scan. When they did that CT scan, the spot had shrunk. So I was like, oh, thank God. Okay, like, yes, we got some action going on. Super excited about that, but still, they were going to do the biopsy because, man, this is cancer that we're dealing with, and we are going to make sure, 100% sure, that we know what we're doing, we know what this is, whatever. So, like, absolutely. So they did, when the doctor came in and talked to me, he told me that it's like a 1 in a million. And I don't know if it's 1 in a million, but it's like 1 in a whole lot of people, that every now and then some air will possibly get in between your chest and your lung and cause your lung to collapse after they've done the biopsy. And when he said that, I was just thinking, every time someone says it's a 1 in a million chance, I'm always the 1 in a million. Except for when it's the lottery. Like, come on now. Like in a lottery, I buy a ticket, it's a 1 in a million chance, nothing. 1 in a million chance that you might have complications with it, but here she goes. So they went through, they did the biopsy, and everything was good. I was recovering, and I was laying in the bed because my throat was hurting. It was a little sore. They gave me ice chips, and I was hungry too, because anytime they do any of those procedures, you can't eat after midnight. And of course, when they tell you can't eat after midnight, all of a sudden you become like ravenously hungry. And of course, that was what was going on with me. So when they gave me those ice chips, I was eating them like, I'm chomping them down, and I felt a little bit of discomfort in my chest, but it wasn't anything major, because again, I'm just still laying in the bed and still coming to from the anesthesia. So I'm chomping down on ice chips. Okay, everything is fine. We're good. They looked at everything. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and discharge you. I'm like, okay, great. And I'm putting on my outfit, I'm putting on my clothes, and I'm feeling a little bit of discomfort. And I'm like, okay, what's going on here? But I'm still thinking, it's nothing major. It's just like, it's probably just from where they did the biopsy that I'm getting this little bit of discomfort. But obviously, I'm making a lot of noise while I'm getting dressed, because the nurse comes and she's just like, are you okay? And I say, I'm okay. And she says, well, you don't sound okay. And I'm thinking, okay. And as the more that I get dressed, the more pain I start to feel. And she comes in, she's like, I just need to look. She's like, let me just look at you and just see what's going on. By that time, I am full on in pain. Then they say, is your pain on a scale of 1 to 10? What is your pain? It was like a 50. And I was just like, oh, my chest. Oh my God, what is going on? I feel like I can't breathe. What is going on? The doctor comes in. They look at me, and I am the 1 in a million that has air get in between the chest wall and the lung, and my lung has collapsed. I'm like, what? And they're like, has she had anything to eat? And I'm like, some ice chips. I'm like, okay, well, we're still gonna have to do. I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God. So I have to get back out. They take me back, take my clothes back off, and they put me back in a gown, and they access my port again because they have to, no, my port, no, yeah, they have to access my port again because they de-access my port. They have to get me ready because I have to go back for emergency surgery. I'm just like, what in the world? I am supposed to be flying home tomorrow. I didn't bring a caregiver with me. I hired a nurse to come to the hospital with me and be with me throughout my procedure because the hospital requires that you have someone with you. And I've had so many biopsies that I was thinking, man, this is whatever. I'm not about to have any of my family or friends come with me and have to sit in the hospital unnecessarily when I can hire this nurse. My nurse that I hire, that I've hired on more than one occasion, Tess, is amazing. If you have to be in Atlanta, the Atlanta area, and you need a caregiver, oh, she is your woman. She is so kind, so sweet. Anywho, they call her, tell her everything is good. Then they call her and tell her, no, it's not good. We have to take her back for emergency surgery. So I'm just like, so I tell her, do not tell, because I always give her my family, my emergency contacts, and give her everybody to check in with and give them her number. And I tell her specifically, do not tell anyone what is going on because I don't want anybody to panic. So she's like, okay. I said, she's like, I just told everybody you were good. They said they were discharging you. I said, I know. Keep it like that. If somebody calls you or whatever, just tell them that you're no longer here with me. And she's just like, okay. Now, they have to admit me into the hospital because the emergency surgery required them to put in a chest tube. So they had to put a tube in my chest. They had to put me on oxygen, put a tube in my chest, and they had to get the air out, and then had to drain fluid. It was a big ordeal. Big ordeal. I was just like, no. I'm supposed to go home tomorrow. I have a cookout that I'm supposed to be going to. My cousin is in town from LA. I'm going to the cookout. What do you mean I have to be here for another day? And they were trying to keep me for another 2-3 days. And I was just like, come on. No, I don't want to do this, but okay. So I have to stay in the hospital overnight. And I'm just texting everybody and checking in with everybody and letting them know like what's going on. Everybody but my mom. I did not tell my mom because I did not want my mom to be freaking out because she definitely was already feeling a way about not going with me. So I didn't tell her. I still haven't told her. When she watches this video, she'll probably see what's going on. Maybe she won't watch it. Maybe she won't see. If she does not see it, y'all don't tell her, okay? But I'm texting everybody. I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I'm getting discharged. And, you know, everything is fine. I was sitting in the hospital. I had this tube in my chest. And the tube went all the way down to, like, my side. And I could feel it. I was just like, oh, Lord. It was a little swollen. I was like, what in the world? Got through that. They did my scans. They did the x-rays. X-rays came back good. Got my lung back inflated, and everything was good. So they discharged me. I have to go back to the hotel. I stay at the hotel for another night, and then I fly back home the next morning. And it was insane. When they pulled that tube out of my chest, I thought that they were going to numb me. I thought that they were going to put me under or something. And the doctor was just like, nah. The tape that they had on the thing, I thought that they were pulling my lung out through the tape because that tape was just like whoosh. and I could see my skin coming off on it. I'm thinking, oh, it was so crazy. So then the doctor yanked, I don't want to say yank, but he pulled the tube out my chest, bandaged me up. They de-accessed my port, sent me home. Sent me to the hotel. Stayed at the hotel, and then the next morning I flew home. Now I had to get a wheelchair and everything because walking through Atlanta airport with a freshly biopsied lung and a chest tube just being pulled out wasn't happening. I had a wonderful woman who was so kind. My wheelchair person was so kind. She pushed me and she was so sweet. She sat with me, made sure I got on my plane, got on my flight good. When I got home, because I had driven to the airport, because I miss do it yourself. So I got home, my sweet little baby Elise, she picked me up from the airport so she can drive me home. And I went through, again, my mom, my dad, neither one of them had any idea that I had this big traumatic ordeal. And they still don't know. But I went home, I relaxed, I rested, because that did take a lot out of me. And the pathology, everything came back as no cancer again. It was just inflammation, and I have to go back. I go back for a follow-up, and when I go for my follow-up, they'll do another scan and make sure that everything is clear. But I haven't had any issues with my lungs or anything like that, so any more since then. So that's all I have for you all today. And this video is done. We are done, son. But before I leave you, I want to remind you that positivity is medicine. It's the best medicine that you can give yourself. Positivity. And keep the faith. And also remember that we are going through these things. We are fighting the good fight. We are trekking along. So be kind to yourself. And also remember to prioritize yourself. I have so often prioritized everything and everybody above myself and before my health and everything else. But remember, prioritize yourself, because you are in charge of you. Okay, you are the only person that is going to have to go through what you go through. It's you. So make sure that you keep yourself at the top of your list of priorities. I know every now and then, or sometimes we want to put everybody, because we love everybody and we care about them, and we want to put their well-being and everything before us. Don't do that. Remember to prioritize yourself. Be positive. Live in love. Live in light. And remember, as long as we are alive, we have another chance to get it right, to fix it, to get it right. Every day is better than our last day, because we're still alive. So thank you, and I'll see you guys next time.